This video is on how to put a tool on the lathe and also how to center the rod. All right. So after you've ground the tool down, this is a tool holder. Here's your tool. You've got two basically set screws on the top that are tightened down on top of the lathe tool there. Definitely want to make sure those are on there tight and that the tool does not move around. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is mount it on the tool post. All right. The tool post has two levers. One is this little one on top, the nut on top. That's used to adjust the angle of the tool. And then to put the tool on, you're using the black lever. All right. And you can move the one on top to a different place if it's in the way. All right. So I move it, I guess, counterclockwise to mount the tool on there, and then tighten it by pulling it towards me. Now right now, as I pull it towards me, the angle's changing. That tells me I need to tighten that guy, and then I can tighten that more. All right, so now it doesn't move. You can adjust the tool up and down, which we'll get to shortly. Again, I can change the angle of the tool now. All right, if I need to make sure I'm cutting at the proper angle. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside for right now. What was that? Oh, sanding sponge. What we're gonna do is put the rod in the chuck, okay? And so you can actually pull the rod. There's a hole that it goes all the way through out the back, all right? So you can actually see through the chuck. All right, so I'm just gonna put the rod in there now. In general, the further out you have the rod sticking, the more, the longer, how do I say it? The longer your lever, but you guys, it probably, when I say lever, you probably don't see what I'm talking about. The longer this is sticking out of the chuck, all right, the more the tool is going to be able to push and actually bend the rod. The shorter you have this, the less likely it is going to be to kind of to move in and out as you're cutting that. In general, you'll get a better quality cut if you keep this as short as possible. However, if you go too short, all right, what's going to be the problem with that if I'm trying to make a pen?
Not enough room.
Yeah, I don't have enough to work with. I'm going to get that tool too close to the chuck. And when the chuck is spinning around at a speed such as this, okay, I do not want my tool to hit the chuck. All right, that would be very bad. Okay, I forgot to have you guys go. You got a pair, put some on. Make sure you have safety glasses when you're over here doing this. All right. And oh, there is a light here also. I gotta pull this down because now my thing's fogging up. All right, you can use that to give yourself a little more light to see the rod. There's also this digital readout right here. This digital readout can keep track of how far you move left and right, as well as forward and back. I'll show you. I need to clean that off, and is it plugged in? No, it's not. The power cord is floating around here somewhere. All right, there it is. All right. Need to clean the plastic cover very soon. All right. So the numbers you see on here, this actually shows the diameter. You can change from millimeters to inches. All right, that's 1.3 inches, 33 millimeters roughly. And then this also keeps track of how far you move left and right on the rod. So if you were trying to like cut it a certain length, or this one, the top number you would use for Any of you know what that symbol is with the little circle with a line through it? Want to take a guess?
No clue.
If you had a circle with a line
No.
going across the middle, the line going across the middle of a circle, you would call what?
Diameter.
Yeah, it's the diameter. All right. So you can actually keep track of the diameter of the rod using this. Now, the next thing you're going to check is to see if the height of the tool is at the middle of the rod. Okay. An fairly easy way to do that. I mean, one, you can eyeball it. All right. And you know, if you don't have it at the right height, it's not that it's going to break the rod, but it's just not going to cut as well in the way. Hello. All right. The way that you cut or adjust the height of the rod is with this knob on the top. All right. So we're going to adjust that knob until I'm at about the middle. I still have a ways to go. And once you adjust it once, then if you use the same size rod, you won't need to adjust it again. Actually, it's independent of the rod because the center of the rod is the center for any rod. All right, and that's probably about right. Maybe a little bit higher. And we'll be able to figure out in just a moment how to do that. Okay, so that's more or less at the middle now. Okay, once again, I'm going to get this tool out of here. I'm going to move the rod a little further away from the chuck because that's too close. All right, one thing I will tell you is always get in the habit of always taking the key out of the chuck. It's real easy to accidentally forget to take that out, and you leave it on there, and especially if it moves over there, you forget about it, you start cutting, and you turn this on, and this thing will come down here, nail, hit the way, cause the chuck to get out of whack. I'll get mad because it'll take me 20 minutes to recenter the darn thing. All right, so there it is there. Now, I'm going to keep this handy, actually, because I'm not done with it. All right, so what I'm going to do first is just barely snug it up to the point where at least it's not moving around. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. This base is magnetic, and I will have all you guys go through this process. And what I'm going to do is move this little dial over to the rod, and I'll try to get it to where the camera can see it. But you guys can also move around as you want to. All right, so why don't you come over here? Come stand over here so you can see the dial. And some of you can come right here, yeah. So, and I'm gonna first turn down the speed. Okay, so right now I have it on high and C. What speed is it spinning at? So this is on H, this is on C.
1,450.
Oh, can you not see? You can wear the, sorry, I should have said you can wear your regular glasses, yeah.
Right.
And if you ever get concerned, you can wear a face shield over. Yeah, I want you to see. If you can't see that well, yeah, put them back on. Okay, so high, there's the H, there's the C. I'm at 1450. I'm gonna drop it down to, like, you know, B. All right, there we go. So it's a little bit slower. All right. But right now, I mean, it's probably pretty straight. All right, it looks pretty straight. But what I'm gonna do is move this here, okay? And you can see the dial moving up and down. The higher the number goes, so I have it turned so it's at 0. So it rises to about 5. You know, here's the lowest point. Let me move it down there. So we're off for about 10. And each number on here, represents 1,000th of an inch. If I ripped out a piece of your hair from your head, The diameter of that would be about 2/1000ths of an inch. So if I take 5 hairs and put them together, that's about how much we're off by. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, if I can get it to within 5, that's good. 10's not bad. Okay, I'm gonna find the high spot. So I went to where the highest reading was and I'm pushing down on it, and we'll see what happens. See if I can tighten it up a little bit more and keep it. I may not be able to do it. I might have to move the rod in a little bit. Let's try it again. So I'm gonna loosen this up. I may have tightened it too much at first. So now it just barely tightened up. There's the lowest spot, there's the highest spot. I'm gonna push down on this, tighten it up. I'm actually gonna push down fairly hard and see if I can get that. It may not wanna move on me. Okay, that didn't help at all. All right, let me move it in a little bit. Sometimes they have a little bit of give to them. And there will be times where you're just kind of stuck with the rod, but I should be able to get an aluminum rod to go down. All right, so let's try it one more time. There's the high, there's the low. So I'm gonna push down really hard this time, as hard as I can. And the further out you push down on it, the better. A little bit, not much. Okay, but that's in general how you center the rod, but I'm not doing too well there. Okay, as you cut it, it'll kind of center itself out. Initially, if it's not centered, what you'll see is you'll be cutting like more on one spot and not on the other. But in general, that's how you put in the tool. You put this in the chuck and you center that. Okay, and